worrying about your upcoming payroll or other expenses. You as a family or individual made a lot of money last year but trying to figure out where everything went. And that's where we come and help you. We are financial coaches and registered financial advisors where we sit with you, create a budget and ensure that your high interest debt is paid off and plan for your upcoming expenses. In your business, we will help you understand where the money is going and create a plan so you don't have to borrow at a high interest debt. We come across and help you to attain your financial future. So if you need to learn more about us, you can reach us at 281-435-1888. Again, I am Matthew Paul, CEO of Minor Financial, where we help you live in the black and set up your financial future.
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching NowMedia Television.
Hey, welcome to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host, Michael Rager, the business guy. We're going to be across all the Now Media television stations. Man, so check us out. We're going to be everywhere today. Man, I'm so excited about what's going on in business right now. I'm telling you, the beginning of 2023 is just killing it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. But one of the things I'm seeing with business owners right now is your market. People don't know exactly who they're trying to serve and why they're trying to serve them. I see a lot of business owners out there right now really trying to serve everybody. Now, if you follow me at all on social media, you follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, all those places, I'm going to teach you one thing. You got to know your fish to get rich. That's what I say, because you know me, I'm a fishing person. That's what I do. I go fishing. I got to understand what I'm fishing for that day. Am I fishing for sailfish? Am I fishing for marlin? Am I in the pond fishing for bass or bluegill? It just doesn't matter. I've got to know. Because what happens when we do that? Well, you know what? Having too wide of a net, we're going to catch things that we don't want. We're going to catch clients that we don't want. And that's something that's going to really hurt us as a business owner, because not only is it going to cost us time, it's going to cost us money. So we got to lose, we're going to lose time and money. That's the things we don't want to do. If you get down and figure out exactly who your client is, we're going to figure out your marketing is going to get easier, which is going to allow your sales to get easier. When your sales are easier, you get to spend less on marketing. The amount of money that it costs to get a new client goes down, and just knowing your audience makes everything easier. That's what we want to focus on as a business owner. We want to make business easy. Too many business owners are trying to make things tough, and we want to go ahead and make it easy. So we want to make sure that we're going here into 2023, and we know exactly who we're trying to catch as clients. That's going to be your tip for the day. You know exactly who you're fishing for. Your fish is going to get rich. We're going to come back from this commercial with my good friend David Murphy. This is a lawyer that knows who his niche is. That's why he's rich. He lives not only here in Houston, but he's in a great place out in Idaho, and he lives the life that everybody wants to live. So this is Michael Rager, your business guide. We're here at NowMedia TV. We're going to be back right after this.
Hi, my name is Elias Rosave, founder of Little Maria's Cafe Restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great, nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfast, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality overhead meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business guide, Michael Rager. Man, I'm so excited again. It's time to talk law. I got my good friend, David Murphy. David, how are you today, my friend?
We're wonderful, Michael. Thank you for having us.
Man, today we actually have a question. We've had a question come in talking about, non-competes and partnerships. So here it is. Under temporary partnership agreement, there was an agreement to draft a non-compete of both partners, right? It never happened, but as the majority owner, and I own more than 51%, am I under a non-compete?
Well, that's a really good question. There's a couple of issues there to unpack. The first issue is the question asked or states that there was a temporary partnership agreement. So assuming, hopefully, that was in writing, there would be a statement, partners agreed to create the non-compete. So then, yes, both partners would be under an agreement that non-compete exists, obviously including the majority owner. But then the question becomes, what exactly are the terms of that non-compete if it wasn't fully fleshed out in the agreement? How long? How far? Specifically, what is competition considered?
Is this one of the things that we get to the point where we're actually going to go litigate, or we're going to get somewhere? Are we going to have to sit down and hash some of these agreements out? Can this be put together and be retroactive, at least as long as both parties agree?
Sure. There's nothing that says that you can't make in a contract or an agreement that you're creating between yourselves effective on a back date. Don't sign it a back date. Sign it the day you sign it. Just make it legally effective January 1, 2022 for the entire year. Generally, any of those written partnership agreements that you're going to have, if they're prepared by a professional, are going to have limitations on the abilities for the partners to compete against the business. It is understandable. You and I have had this conversation before, that when businesses are starting up, they're trying to save money, keep the lights on, or find a place to rent, or whatever it might be. And they do so without the assistance of an attorney or some other legal professional to help them with these types of things. And they can run into all kinds of issues that end up costing more to cleaning up than the attorney's fees would have been to help prepare it in the first place. But those things, directly to your question, those things can be taken care of as long as there's mutual consent from all the parties.
Okay, so will a written partnership agreement generally, include limitations on competition? Are those things that are usually included?
If it's drafted by a professional, I would be incredibly shocked that there wouldn't be those. In our agreements, whether it's a partnership agreement, an LLC agreement, or a corporation that we're helping someone put together, we're going to have limitations on disclosure of information, solicitation of employees and clients, a restriction on competition at a minimum in the same general area that the business is working in. Maybe it's going to include all of North America. Maybe it's just going to include the state of Texas. There are going to be those types of limitations in that for those partners.
But does it usually come up, is money, an issue that usually keeps this from happening up front? Is that usually the main driver why these things aren't put together?
I would say that's probably the largest, in my opinion, the largest thing that keeps people away from seeking professional help when they're starting a business. I mean, there's plenty of document companies out there that can create template documents for you that there's also a million companies out there using that doesn't have any damn thing to do with your business. But it's better to get professional help specifically to your business, tailor it to what you and your partners or member agreements are trying to put together, and make it personalized to your business.
Okay, cool. So under the partnership laws, what fiduciary agreements do each partner have, and how is that information, shared between the partners, and how does it seen by the courts?
Well, if there isn't a written agreement, if there's a written agreement, that's going to take precedent over the common law statute. Most of the states in the United States follow what's known as the Uniform Partnership Act, And that outlines the fiduciary duties that partners are going to have to the company and to each other. In general, it's going to be non-disclosure, maintain of trade secret and other confidential information, non-circumvent, don't steal business opportunities away from the partnership. No self-dealing that's going to benefit one partner specifically as opposed to others, utilizing the company as their own personal bank account of sorts, and any kind of detrimental competition. Even without a written agreement, these things are going to be understood, and there's plenty of case law relating to protecting those types of nefarious activities that will damage the business and other partners.
So, I want to wrap this segment up. How much more does it cost to do this on the back end than it does cost to do this right on the front end? So I'm going to jump into it.
Well, we've been involved in cases that generally, if you've lost an agreement between the partners, unfortunately, you're going to end up in the court system. We have a great court system, but it's not cheap, and it doesn't really make everybody happy. And if you have partners that disagree and separate out in different directions, you're going to end up in a lawsuit, and it might cost you $3,000 or $4,000 to put together a truly proper agreement, structured with all the tailoring ancillary docs that you want with it. But if you end up in litigation, you could be spending $50,000, $60,000 for a result that you don't really like.
Man, that's just a massive difference. So David, if people want to reach out to you and get this done right, how do they find you?
They can reach us at our website, murphyslawpllc.com, or they can reach us directly at the office at 281-475-2022.
Well, thanks, David, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. We're looking forward to talking to you next week, man. You have a great week.
Thank you, Michael.
This is Michael Razor, your business guide. We're going to be back with more Biz Talk TV right after this.
As a critical aspect of your operations, you need the right technology partner to provide you and your business the peace of mind of having reliable and efficient IT systems. In addition, with cyber threats, ransomware at an all-time high, adequate, continuous, and proactive data protection for your business is an absolute must. Hi, this is Roland Parker with Impress Computer Solutions. We are experts in tailored IT solutions and professional 24/7 IT support services. We proactively monitor, maintain, manage, and protect your IT and data assets. Additionally, we have the know-how and horsepower to do the correct procuring of any and all computer systems or software your company may need. Having the correct IT infrastructure and not being able to operate safely and correctly is very expensive and can eventually destroy growth. So take a decisive step and call me today for a complimentary consultation at 281-647-9977 for your unique IT needs.
Are you a small business owner who's overwhelmed and exhausted? You've tried many strategies, but your business just isn't where you want it to be. You wish someone would give you a roadmap to grow your business so that you can finally live the life you've imagined. Now is the time to get crystal clear on your business strategy so that you can work smarter, not harder. With our support, you can fully step into your CEO role and run your business rather than your business running you. Hi, I'm Jen Drago, award-winning strategist and business coach. I help entrepreneurs and small business owners develop a laser-focused roadmap so that they can earn more, work fewer hours, and amplify their impact. Let's face it, most of the small business advice that's available online is cookie cutter and filled with fluff that will never serve you. It's time for you to stop doing things that aren't moving your business forward. I will help you develop an actionable, focused plan to grow your business in a way that lights you up. Contact me today at peaktoprofit.com to get started on your business growth roadmap.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV, and I'm your host, Michael Rager, the business guide. I'm so excited. I'm finally going to get to meet this lady in person. I've been hearing her talk. She's been giving some great tax and bookkeeping advice. We got live in studio today, Kristen Gunderson. Kristen, how are you today?
Great. Thank you so much for having me on your show today, Michael.
Oh man, it's so great to finally get to see you in person. You know, you're doing this stuff, recording yourself and seeing what's going on. It's great to have you in studio and live.
Yes, so glad to be here.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about something that near and dear to my heart because I'm awful at it. And we're going to start with meals. We're going to start with the business owner. Meals and entertaining is a very difficult thing, and making sure we do things right. What are some of the common mistakes business owners make when they're trying to write out meals and entertainment?
Well, the first thing is that entertainment is not write-offable at all right now. That's been for the last, several years. So if you're taking your clients to a baseball game or to a concert or golfing, hunting, like those are not write-offable anymore. And then for the last 2 years, the IRS put in a new tax act basically to get the restaurants going again. And so instead of it being 50% write-offable for entertainment, now it was 100% write-offable for the year 2021 and year 2022. However, for year 2023, for this, January going forward, it's back to 50% write-offable for the majority of the meals that your company does.
Well, it's funny, it's my company, Teach Your Business to Fish. I found a little loophole around that entertainment thing. I take people fishing, but we actually have an education curriculum, so it's an educational event. I don't know about that, but I thought I was getting a little creative. What do you think as a tax expert?
Well, in that thing, you're providing them a service. So yeah, you're providing a conference for them to come get educated. So that would be something different. That would actually, for the year 2023, that is 100% write-offable. And so if you are providing an event where people can come out to, and the meals are completely 100%, they're all free for the clients, that is 100% write-offable for the year 2023 also. And if you have a holiday party for your employees, that is 100% write-offable also. However, if you're taking out a client or your employees to lunch or for dinner, that is 50% write-offable.
Oh, they're just trying to get us. Now, okay, we were talking before we got here. One of the things that I know I'm awful at, every time I get done, I get my receipt and I may scribble a note on it and I shove it in my wallet and it sits in there for 6 weeks and all the ink disappears. What are we really supposed to do to make sure we have the right information so if we ever do get audited, we can make sure prove we were doing what we were doing?
Yeah, the IRS likes to see those receipts. So if you ever get audited, make sure that you have them. Obviously on the receipt, it's going to have the name of the restaurant, the date that you were there, and how much it was. Make sure to write in the tip of what tip you left, and they kind of want to see it itemized. You can see, what food you're eating and what you're drinking. And they don't want to see anything lavish. So if it's just a very, very lavish meal, they're not going to like that and they're not going to be happy with it. But then the other thing that you're supposed to actually write on the receipt is everyone that you were with dinner with, all the names of the people, whether your employees, your clients that you were taking, or potential clients. And then if it was a potential client, they want to know if you won that business. So then later on, you need to go back a few weeks later and go back, okay, I did win this business. And if you were, at dinner or lunch talking with your employees or your clients, they want to know what you were talking about for business. So scribble a little note on that of what business you actually discussed. And then what I would do, instead of leaving it in your wallet for 6 weeks until it gets all voided and you can barely read it, is snap a picture of it with your cell phone. There's the QuickBooks Online app, if that's what you use for your accounting, snap that picture in the QuickBooks Online and then it's taken care of and it's there. If it fades, it won't be a problem. Or give it to your receptionist and have them scan it with the scanner. That way you have an electronic PDF of it, and then you can throw it away after that, as long as you have a secure way of backing it up.
Oh, I'm lazy. I'm telling you, I am the laziest. I'm the worst. And I know other business owners like that because I entertain a lot, with what I'm doing. I'm going out, I take a lot of clients out for cocktails. It's a lot more of that than it is, dinner. But we do discuss things. We are talking business. We're talking strategy. We're talking this. We're talking that. I know once I did get audited, 7, 8 years ago, and my auditor made me go back through my calendar and create a spreadsheet. And I had to go through my whole calendar. So one of the things that I do to protect that is I back up my calendar and I try to keep a journal of everything I did. How does that help, and how can that help a business owner, if he or she ever does get audited?
Yeah, that is a great idea. Make sure all those appointments are in your calendar and that you have it backed up, because then if you do get audited and you have those receipts, you can go be like, oh, okay, January 17th, and look at your calendar in case you forget to do it real time. You can go back to your calendar and be like, okay, yes, I met, I had this networking meeting, or I had this client meeting, and this is where we were at, and then you can kind of jog your memory of what did we talk about. Like, if you were with clients, you should know what you were talking about because you know your clients. They're
your clients, right? Yeah. We should get to know them and know exactly what's going on there. All right, so we're getting into the time of the year now. There's some big games coming up, and some of us like to, go see our bookie. And, we're going to go to Vegas, and we're going to do this, and we're going to drop 100 here, drop 100 there. So let's say we go out and we do that. We're out on a business trip in Vegas. We put money down, and our team wins. What happens?
You're going to have winnings, and you're going to get a W-2G. And yes, you have to wait for that W-2G to come in the mail because you need to put that on your tax return and you need to pay taxes on it, which people don't like to hear. However, there is a little bit of a loophole. If you have gambling losses, you can deduct gambling losses up to your winnings. So say you do, you win $100,000, but you spent $125,000 during the whole year and you lost it all. You would be able to deduct up to $100,000, the amount that you won, in gambling losses. However, there's another trick to this, is you have to be able to itemize your tax return. So say you only won $5,000 and you're trying to write off $5,000 worth of gambling losses. If you can't itemize, you're not going to be able to write it off. And the standard deduction for last year's, like for a single person, is $12,950. If you're married, it's double. So if you don't have gambling losses or property taxes, sales tax, mortgage interest, or donations that total more than the standard deduction of $12,950, if you're single, you're not going to be able to write off those losses. Now, if you gambled and won $100,000 and you have $100,000 to write off, then of course you would be able to use the itemized deductions to be able to write those winnings off.
Yeah, it's me. If you're like me, you're going to lose all the time, so it doesn't matter. But is it you're doing this, if it's just a one-time thing, two-time thing, and you just happen to win, that's where it's at. But as if you actually regularly gamble and do this, because a lot of the apps and stuff like that, do the apps and stuff like that collect data and collect the information you need to help you?
Yeah, so actually you can, like if you go to a regular casino, they should have all of your gambling losses. Like they have like these cards. I'm not a big gambler, but I know like we went to Vegas last month and they have these cards and it keeps track of all your losses. So have them print that out for you for say last year for 2022. And then like if you have to pay for the hotel, sometimes you get that comped, but you have to pay for the hotel or for the flight or the miles to drive there and your meals, like all that also counts as gambling losses while you're gambling.
Well, that's interesting because it's almost like it's a job for some people. I've got friends that were professional poker players and stuff like that, and I understand it. But I think just for the normal, you and me, we go to Vegas, we do this. I know last time I was there, I couldn't even find a $10 blackjack table. Everything was $25 and $50, and I hate giving away my money.
Same here.
So you want to do that. So anything else? We're coming here. We got a few minutes. We're finishing up. We need to get everything to you. What's the most important thing that business owners need to focus on right now? Because it's going to get busy. You're going to get busy. What do they have to do to get things to you in the perfect order to make their tax filing simple?
Well, the first thing is if you do have a business, you need to have your profit and loss for 2022 and a balance sheet, and make sure they're clean. I've been talking to a lot of people in the last, since January 1st, basically. They don't keep this up to date normally, so they're literally trying to add up all their expenses on an Excel file for me. So if you don't have like a bookkeeping or an accounting software, go ahead and total all of your business expenses on an Excel spreadsheet. That way your bookkeeper or tax person doesn't have to do it for you and charge you extra. And another thing is, if you don't have a bookkeeper or do your bookkeeping regular, get that done. Like, make that a goal for 2023 to get that going perfectly. And then the other thing is if you bought any fixed assets for the year, I'll need a list of those. And the date that you bought them, how much they were and what they are, or your CPA that does your taxes. And then any document that comes in the mail that says important tax document on it, that you need to keep and put into like a tax folder and give to your CPA. That is really, really important. And sometimes they're not coming in the mail anymore. You have to go to like wherever you do the electronic part of it and download the year-end tax documents. So like if you have Edward Jones, you might have to download whatever that is, and other items. If your kids are in school or something like that, those documents may not be coming in the mail either, but they have to download them from the school. So just like look at last year's tax return. If you had a document and it hasn't come in by, say, the first week of February, go to that website and go download it, because maybe they're doing electronic only.
You're going to get those important tax documents. You're going to sit your drink on it. And
Yes.
do this and get that ring. Just make the IRS happy. So how do they get a hold of you? How does everybody get a hold of you? Because you need a good bookkeeper.
Yes. So we are Gunderson's Bookkeeping. We are on all the social media. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Gunderson's Bookkeeping. Or you can call us at 936-372-2661, or of course our website, www.gundersonsbookkeeping.com.
Well, Kristen, man, this has been awesome. I'm so happy that you finally got in here. I'm telling you, for the next several weeks, I got a ton of questions because I got a whole bunch of new clients.
Yeah.
And they got questions that they should have been asking you. I'm seeing them and I just roll my eyes as a business
I'll
coach.
be glad to answer that.
All right. So you guys have a great day. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide. We're going to be right back with more Biz Talk TV right after this.
As a critical aspect of your operations, you need the right technology partner to provide you and your business the peace of mind of having reliable and efficient IT systems. In addition, with cyber threats, ransomware at an all-time high, adequate, continuous, and proactive data protection for your business is an absolute must. Hi, this is Robert Parker with Impress Computer Solutions. We are experts in tailored IT solutions and professional 24/7 IT support services. We proactively monitor, maintain, manage, and protect your IT and data assets. Additionally, we have the know-how and horsepower to do the correct procuring of any and all computer systems or software your company may need. Having the correct IT infrastructure and not being able to operate safely and correctly is very expensive and can eventually destroy growth. So take a decisive step and call me today for a complimentary consultation at 281-647-9977 for your unique IT needs.
Are you a small business owner who's overwhelmed and exhausted? You've tried many strategies, but your business just isn't where you want it to be. You wish someone would give you a roadmap to grow your business so that you can finally live the life you've imagined. Now is the time to get crystal clear on your business strategy so that you can work smarter, not harder. With our support, you can fully step into your CEO role and run your business rather than your business running you. Hi, I'm Jen Drago, award-winning strategist and business coach. I help and amplify their impact. Let's face it, most of the small business advice that's available online is cookie cutter and filled with fluff that will never serve you. It's time for you to stop doing things that aren't moving your business forward. I will help you develop an actionable, focused plan to grow your business in a way that lights you up. Contact me today at peak2profit.com.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business guide, Michael Rager, and I'm so excited about this part. My good friend, Kat Becker. We're going to talk about building and nurturing relationships. Kat, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Michael. How are you?
Oh man, unbelievable. You know, I know nobody could understand. You've been in Florida. You've been having a good time, right? I see a little tan going on with you there.
Well, I mean, as much as like an Irish redhead can, but yeah.
So we're going to talk about nurturing relationships and the most important relationship to nurture. So I just want to start with that. Who is it and why do we want to nurture that relationship?
Well, last week when we spoke, we talked about all the different types of relationships that exist within a company, within a unit, within a business. And we didn't talk about one crucial one, and it's ourselves. The most important relationship that we could possibly foster and nurture is the one that we have with ourselves. And yet, ironically, it's probably the one we think the least about. You know, we're just in such go, 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 go nurture mode that it's very, very rare that we stop and take the time to look inwardly and see, you know, check in with ourselves. Like, how is Katrin doing today? You know, how is Michael doing today? What is it that we need and that we need to grow and move forward? And you know, when I do my workshops and my result setting trainings that I do, I always start with a personality assessment, because no one ever sits and takes the time to think about what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. I mean, maybe they will in like different skills, but not the innate characteristics and traits that make us unique to who we are. And so we start there as a place to kind of look deeper and be like, oh my gosh, I do this. Or yeah, it really not great when I do that. And so it kind of puts things in perspective. And so when you're looking to set results, you know, you need to have both of those things in mind. And the other thing that I've noticed in my years of experience working with this is that people don't dare to dream enough. And so an example is I just did a training earlier this week, and I lead people through this exercise to help them kind of expand their mind. And we go through different ways that they would spend various sums of money, and you can't spend it on the same thing. So it really kind of forces you to think about what you'd want. And one of the gentlemen answered that he would buy some land. And so that's the place where it's like, well, why would you buy land? And he's like, well, I want to build a house. Okay. Why do you want to build a house? Well, I want to have enough space for my family. Okay. Why do you want, and just that iteration of asking why over and over again to get to the real reason of, he feels like smothered in the place that he lives now, and there's so many distractions that he wants to get back to that sort of simpler life, but he couldn't direct that, he couldn't verbalize that until we went through these exercises. And so I think it's just such an important thing for people to remember, to spend that time, and it doesn't need to take long, just to kind of check in with themselves and where they are.
Well, one of the things that I teach my clients is just where you're going, the 5 whys. You got to dig down like almost 5 layers to really figure out really what's going on. So when you look at personality tests, I'm simple. I use DISC because it's very simple and it's easy and I can understand it. When we get into deeper things, why do we go into deeper personality tests, and what effect does it have with helping us figure out who we are and how we function and why we function the way we do?
I think it's something really innate for most of us to want to know and understand ourselves deeper. It's something that I have always been curious about. So anytime there's some sort of new personality test or assessment, I am very keen to take it and have more understanding about myself. The test that I use, the reason I use it is because it's incredibly simple. It's a geometric test, and what you do I forgot to shut my office door, and my cat keeps jumping up to say hi. So in case you see my arms moving, that's what's happening. But it's a very simple test where you just flash up 4 geometric shapes, and people say, this is the one that I'm most drawn to. And then we kind of dived deeper into that. And I love it. No one has to take an assessment, and I can give it anywhere. I just need a sheet of paper and a pen, and we can take that assessment.
So if you were going to give a client one thing they should work on themselves, because we got to build that relationship, what's the one thing that they should work on building that relationship with themselves?
Well, everything has seasons. We're in winter season right now, and it's really such a great moment to think about we can't be in summer mode all the time. We can't be in go, 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 go. We don't need to take off, huge amounts of time in order for us to work on ourselves. I know a lot of people, I have a podcast called The Good, Bad, and Ugly of Business. And in my guest this week, he talked about when he was in the corporate world that he would never take vacation because he was so worried about the things building up. And he ended up getting so stressed that he left the corporate world altogether. And so it's not that it has to be these big, grand vacations where you just go sit on the beach for, a week, which I couldn't do anyway. I'd get bored out of my mind after day one. But taking these small incremental moments where you're taking them for yourself and scheduling it into your calendar. You can have it all if you plan it all. So as long as you're taking that time, whatever it is for you, if it's meditation, if it's, exercise, if it's massage, if it's having lunch with a good friend, just making sure you take that time for that sort of mental reset so you can almost defrag your brain like you would your computer.
I'm telling you, it's me. I go to the beach. I don't spend much time on the beach. I'm fishing, I'm scuba diving, I'm somewhere. I need a vacation from my vacation. But the thing is
I'm the same way.
I cannot meditate for 10 minutes because I get so bored. It's somewhere that I can go. And I guess it goes back to your personality, right? So
absolutely.
This has been great. So tell people how to get a hold of you and why they should get a hold of you.
Well, I do a lot of work with helping people to get their results. There's a lot of talk about goal setting, but goals are really just a wish, where a result is what you actually will achieve. And by understanding your personality and how that fits into the broader picture and adding an accountability, we can really help people get the results that they actually want when you dive down those 5 whys. So you can reach me through my website, or you can email me at kat@coachwithkat.com.
Well, Kat, man, it's awesome. I love having you on. I was so excited last week when I got to meet you for the first time. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person really soon. So you have a great day and have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'm Michael Rager, your business guide, and we're going to be back in just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit more business. Imagine that.
Working the system is challenging and risky, especially if you don't have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve. Working is risky, especially if you don't have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business guide, Michael Rager, here on NowMedia TV. I got my good friend Matthew Paul in the studio. Matthew, how are you today?
I am blessed. How are you, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing great. And we're going to talk a little bit about getting in the black. What does that mean?
Yeah, you always hear me talking about living in the black, and if you know about Black Friday, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Man, somebody's going to go shopping and spend a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That is the day that most of the businesses in America will turn their books from red to black. And they have been always in a liability mode until that point. and on that day they will turn it into black and become profitable. So what we want you to do is to live in the black, means always live in the profit if you are a business owner, and always have more assets and liabilities if you are a personal individual.
Well, one of the things in order to live in the black is business owners need to understand their break-even point. When they're working with you, how do they understand that break-even point? Because we teach them something, it's the golden triangle. Once you get there and you get above that break-even, you can really start making more money. So when they're working with you, how do they figure that out?
It's all about planning, Michael, because most of the people have no idea what is coming on their way, and they will go and spend money on things that they should not have any return of investment, and then they get into trouble. And sometimes they use way too much cash to buy things that there's not returning anything for them, and then when they really want to spend cash, they have to go borrow at 20-30% interest rate. So what we do is to figure out what is the upcoming cash, what is the cash flow looks like, and try to plan your spending in such a way that you are always in the black.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things for business owners to function at. I teach them this as, revenues for your ego, profits for your pocketbook, but cash is fact. When you get to the business owner, you got to get the cash, right?
Yeah, the businesses file for bankruptcy not because of lack of profit. It files for bankruptcy because lack of cash, right? And so exactly what you said is right. We have to make sure that the cash flow is there. And even as a business owner, right? I mean, they spend everything on their business and their house is really struggling. So what we would like to do is to make sure that their debt is managed in the correct way so that they can get money and then use it for their businesses and for their personal life.
Yeah, I think last time we talked a little bit about it is debt. There's some good and bad about debt, and understanding debt's just a tool. And being able to use the right tool is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, so we talked about it last time. So if you are trying to buy a machinery, and that if you don't have money to pay for it upfront, and then you have to take a loan to buy a machinery to produce goods that gives you money, okay, we will do that and find a way to manage it. But if you're having a 30%, 29% credit card debt, it is going to be impossible to make any return of investment on that particular investment, or for that matter, particular debt. And so, Michael, let me ask you this question. When was the last time you heard that suffocating debt has improved my mental health?
Yeah, it never does. It never does.
No, you never hear saying that I thank God for my debt when I hit my head on my pillow. Nobody says all those words. It's because debt is stressful, and if you don't know how to manage that, you are going down the drains pretty soon.
Yeah, but it's often we hear the phrase OPM, other people's money. If we could use other people's money, especially at cheap interest, how do we manage that, and how do we make that happen?
Well, other people's money is good if you know how to manage that. If not, you will have a problem. And we used the example of a chainsaw last time. I mean, chainsaw is a wonderful tool, and you need to have one in the garage. But if you don't know how to use it, it will hurt you. So most of the people in this country don't know, and so if you don't know something, we recommend that you stay away from it. And that's why we always recommend that unless you don't know how to use debt, stay away from it and use cash for almost all of your purchases.
Yeah, you got to be able to get in there and get the right people on your team. That's why it's good to have solid advisors. When me as a business coach, I'm making sure I got a good financial advisor, I got a good banker, lawyer, CPA, all those people, so we've got the right team to help people in place. So how do you function in that team, and what's your role when you look at being part of a business team?
Yeah, so we are financial coaches and advisors. So financial coaches means that we will manage your cash flow and make sure that you are always on the top of your profitability chart. So that is what we do on the financial coaching side. But we are also financial advisors. So we will start all your IRAs and stuff like that, so that you are paying less taxes as you move forward in your businesses. And I have never heard somebody says that they take pride in paying taxes. And so we need to make sure that we have to keep your tax bracket down by investing in 401ks, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, and if you are an individual, we always help you with your traditional and Roth IRAs and college fundings.
I don't know, man. I always want to be the guy that paid the most taxes. That kind of means I made the most money, doesn't it?
Well, that is good. You always have to pay taxes, but at the same time, we have to make sure that you are using your money for good ones, right? Yeah. I mean, you're not, doesn't make any sense to pay 30-40% tax. But you have to make money and then pay less tax. That's the key.
Yeah, the whole thing's planning and having a plan, and that's one of the things that people need to do. So Matthew, if somebody wants to sit down and get a plan going with you, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, they can visit our website, and there is a free consultation that we offer. You can also call my office at 281 435-1888, and one of us will be there to sit with you, guide you, and take the next step towards financial security for you.
Yeah, because we're getting to the point right now, if we got to put a little bit of money and hide it away, and you talk about some of those investments, we got to be doing that now, don't we?
Absolutely, because you know what, April 15th is coming way sooner than you think. And so if you're not planning, it will come back and bite you one of these days.
All right, Matthew. So this is awesome, man. I'm your business guide, Michael Rager, good friend Matthew Paul. We're going to be right back after this, and we're going to talk about tech. So don't miss that.
Okay.
If you have the perfect health insurance plan and you don't want to save any money, you might want to stop listening now. However, if you are like the rest of us who know that the #1 cause of bankruptcy is unexpected medical costs due to subpar coverage, you really want to listen closely. Even if you owe 20% of your medical costs for a large claim, like cancer or a bad accident, it will wipe out the wealth you've worked for your entire career. That's why when it comes to choosing health insurance, it's important to get the right coverage for you and your family. I'm April Clark with Clark Health Insurance. My mission and passion is to simplify the process for small business owners, families, and self-employed individuals. Protect your health and start saving money on your insurance today.
I was recently asked what it means to be a family lawyer. What is family law? Family law is not just about divorce or custody or child support. Family law is about your life. As a family lawyer, I protect your children, your wealth, your future. I don't do this alone. As your attorney, we work as a team to determine your goals and priorities and provide a strategy in an often complex, painful, and confusing time. Whether it's asset protection through pre- or post-marital agreements or fighting to protect your children, I'm here to help. My team and I bring decades of combined experience to support you and your family in all aspects of family and wealth planning, from estate and legacy planning to divorce and child custody issues to representation in complex litigation cases. Take a decisive step. We're here when you're ready. Remember, it's about your life.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide and host here on Biz Talk TV. I got my good friend Roland Parker from Empress Computers. Roland, how are you today?
Michael, I'm doing fantastic. Great to be back on the show.
Oh man, we're going to talk about something interesting today. The World Wide Web versus the dark web versus the internet. What is the difference between this?
So let's start off with, people sometimes talk about the web and the internet is the same thing, but basically the internet is kind of like your infrastructure, and then the web is the program that you use to access the internet. So the World Wide Web, that's kind of broken down into the surface web, the deep web, and then the dark web. And sometimes people think deep web, dark web, and it sounds scary. So let's kind of break that down. The surface web is really just websites that are indexed. So that means Google or your Bing engine can actually find those things, and it's got a hypertext to link you to that website. So they're indexed so you can find them. The deep web is non-indexed. So that would be things like your emails, your bank accounts, your Netflix account, anything that is behind a password. So if you have to log into an account, that's called the deep web. And you wouldn't want Google to be searching the stuff that's on that account. And obviously it's behind a password, so Google's not going to be able to see it. So surface web is everything that you can search. Deep web are the things that are legitimate, but you can't search for them. Now it comes to the dark web, and that can be sometimes a scary thing. But it's not necessarily all scary. It just means that in order to access it, you've got to use a program like Tor, and you've got to use a VPN like NordVPN to be able to get in there. Now, there are some legitimate reasons that people would want things on the dark web. So journalists or WikiLeaks or something like that, where they're putting information out that they don't want you to know who's on there. They're going to have that on the dark web. But of course, a lot of the bad guys are out there, and that's when you can buy drugs and sex trade, whatever the case is. It's all going to be on the dark web because it's untraceable. You use untraceable currency.
So why do we even come up with something like that? I mean, how did it end up? Was it intentional, or did it just happen?
It was intentional, and it was designed so that people can access stuff without being found. Now, if you're, say, for example, a journalist in a country and you don't want that information out there, you want to be able to use things like the deep web, dark web to search for it. But because you're untraceable and using untraceable currency, what's going to happen? All the bad guys are going to hang out there as well. So what does that mean for you as a business owner? Well, that's when people are buying and selling your credentials, social security numbers, addresses, email, passwords, all of that stuff is available for sale. Now, how does it end up on the dark web? Well, it could be something that you made a mistake and you inadvertently gave the bad guys access. But it could be nothing to do with you. Say, for example, when they had one of the big box stores gets hacked, or they've had a recent hack by one of the major companies where you are legitimately buying. I think the most recent one was the Nissan hack, where people's information got inadvertently leaked and it ended up on the dark web. So it could be a legitimate business that you were doing business with. They get hacked and your information ends up on the dark web.
So how do we protect our business from having our stuff go from where we think it's safe to ending up on the dark web, where we don't want it?
Yep. And that's kind of the tricky thing is, okay, it's out there, what do you do about it? Well, the first thing you need to know is don't hide in the dark and think, well, I don't want to go to the dark web, it's scary, and I'm not gonna think about it. But the biggest thing is how quickly you react. If your information is on the dark web, what you do need to do is make sure, okay, what has been compromised? The dark web reports that we produce will actually show you what type of credentials were exposed. Was it just your password, or did they get your social security number? So that's when it's very important to say, okay, this is a password, I need to go ahead and change my passwords. I need to make sure I've got two-factor authentication in. And you may want to put in some type of monitoring if things like your social security numbers and driver's license were exposed out there, because people might be trying to get your identity.
Man, that's just scary stuff, and I know as a business owner I don't want my stuff out there for sure. So how does somebody get a hold of you, and what kind of things would you recommend to quickly protect us from the dark web?
So the first thing is get a hold of us at impresscomputers.tech. We can sit down with you and maybe put in a dark web monitoring service. It's pretty inexpensive. It'll cover your entire company, because it's the larger you get, the more vulnerabilities you have, because it could take just one of your employees, their credentials to be out there, and that's going to expose you. So put that dark web monitoring in place, and please, start doing some security checks. If you use like Google or any one of your email services, go in there, go to the security center and enable two-factor authentication, and then set up to see, okay, who is accessing this account. It's very easy to do. If you go to like Google and your security center, it'll actually show you who logged in. So that would give you an indication, hey, wait a minute, I'm not sitting in Virginia, I'm here in Texas. Something's going on. And then you can proactively fix things. So put in your two-factor authentication, monitor who's had access to your account, and if you just do that dark web monitoring, put in the two-factor authentication, and if anything, put in multi-factor authentication where you use biometrics.
All right, man. So this is awesome role, and that's the things we got to do as business owners. We got to make sure we're out there to make money. We're actually to make profit, but we got to protect it.
Yeah, don't give the money to the bad guys.
Yeah, don't give it to the bad guys. All right, man. Roland, thanks a lot. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV on the NowMedia Nations. We'll be back right after this.
Hey y'all, Fathead here with Fathead Spices. My goal is to give you Texas-made spices, rubs, and food products for all your events. Whether it's outdoor, indoor, or just hanging out at the deer lease, we got you covered. We're proud of our customer service. We want to help you make your food better. One thing's for sure, y'all, life's short, spice it up.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of bird's head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376, Little Maria's Cafe.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Michael Rage, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV. I'm telling you, that was a great show, and I loved it, man. We always have some great guests coming in and sharing what we need to hear. You know, we have Matthew coming in and talking about how to understand the black. We got Roland talking about the dark web. Here we are, keeping it dark. You know, we got Kristen talking to us about how to write off the right things. We got David talking to us about how do we make sure we set ourselves up right in the legal side. And then, of course, we got Kat talking to us about ourselves. So one thing I want to talk about ourselves, something I've got going on. I've got something going on with a good friend of mine, Matt Barbie, from up in St. Louis. We got something coming on called the Ignition Code. We're going to offer a free 90-minute session. We're going to come in and we're going to talk about how to, boom, get your business to explode and just take off. You know, that's what it's about. As we're going into the beginning of the year, it's important to get started and go fast. Nothing going slow ever gets you anywhere. So, you know, if you get a chance and you've got some time, you want to come on and learn a little bit about how to take your business to the next level, join us next week. It's a free 90-minute call. You're going to get on. We're going to talk about some really great things. We're going to mastermind, and we're going to show you how to take your business to the next level. So one of the things, again, we talked about at the beginning is understanding your client. As a business owner, understanding your client is the most important thing. We want you to go out there and, like I said earlier, know your fish, and knowing your fish will teach you how to get rich. So we want to make sure that you're out there taking your marketing message and you're getting it in front of the right people. We want to make sure that you're talking to the right people that are going to actually use your products and services, because if we do this, we're going to be able to spend less money on marketing. We're going to help our salespeople become more effective. We're going to help them close even more. And that's what it's all about. If we can close even more, we're going to increase our revenue. We're going to increase our profits. And then, like we talked a little bit about with Matthew, we're going to put cash in our back pocket. Cash is king, and that's what we need to do to grow our business. So that's the things we're trying to do here on Biz Talk TV. We hope you're enjoying it. We're hoping you love all of the fun, exciting things that we're trying to bring to our business owners. We're trying to make this a little bit more fun, a little bit more interactive, as you saw. And that's our goal, is just to make this fun, exciting for you, the business owner, to grow your business. So my name is Michael Rager. I'm your business guide. Go find me at michael@teachyourbusinesstofish.com. We got a lot of fun, exciting things coming up. Do you want to go tuna fishing? We're going to be doing that this year. You want to go snapper fishing? We're going to do that this year. Come enjoy whiteboards and whiskey with us. Come have a good time. But what we want to do is help you business owners grow. That's what it's all about. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide. We'll check out and see you next week.
This has been a NowMedia Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today.